Dusty Picks joins us. Dusty, the betting expert from Eastern Canada, joining us. Hey, Dusty, what's going on, bro? It's been far too long. How are you?
I'm doing great here, Rod. It's great to be back on with you guys again. Just getting busy to the busy season, college football, NFL, and NHL around the corner, NBA, ready to roll.
Okay, good. Well, it's good to have you. And as Clark said, he looked at all your followers. He's like, Dusty's got a lot of followers, man. Let's get him on the show. I said, oh, that's good. Even though he's an Oilers fan, let's get him on the show. Now, you sent me a list of topics to get to. And just so you know, this is just going to be a conversation. You're my co-host, not my interview guest here. And it's perfect that you told me that you're a Dolphins fan. I'm gonna open hour 2 with how I closed hour 1. Here's the latest news out of Miami Gardens, Florida here. Dolphins wide receiver Tyreek Hill said today he's acknowledging that he could have handled himself better in the initial moments of a traffic stop Sunday that led him to be handcuffed and pulled out of his car by officers near the team's stadium. Cheetah said this morning, that he wishes he did some things a bit differently, including leaving the window of his car down when officers instructed him to do so. He rolled up the window instead, and the incident escalated quickly from there. So don't get fidgety. You can say whatever you want, because I do. I'm giving you, Dusty, free reign to say whatever you want. You're a Dolphins fan. They're playing the Bills Thursday night to kick off week 2. What is your take on the biggest story in the NFL this week?
With the whole Tyreek Hill incident, to be honest, I've worked in law enforcement for 13 years. I can see both angles here. Tyreek he was acting like a little child for a bit, and that escalated the situation. But that has no excuse what the police did and done. But Tyreek could have easily handled that by himself, just rolling down the window, talking, not trying to make a stand or look at me, look what I'm driving, you know who I am. But I'm just glad he came out and acknowledged that he was part of the issue too. It wasn't just the cops.
I guess it makes me wonder what's changed from yesterday to today. Because there were 2 people saying Tyreek Hill is the reason this escalated. Me and Charles Barkley. But the Dolphins backed Tyreek Hill yesterday. They admonished the Miami-Dade police. And to be honest, I had a problem with that. But that's just my opinion. When the cops say jump, I say how high. Literally, I did not know that you worked in law enforcement for 15 years. So thank you for your service, Dusty. Trust the dust, by the way. Thanks. So let's just roll it back a little bit. The Dolphins were down 17-7 in the third quarter in week 1 against the Jags. Came back and won it on the last play of the game on a Jason Sanders 52-yard field goal. When you're watching that, how do you separate the betting Dusty versus the Dolphin fan Dusty?
Oh, most of the times I don't even bet on the Dolphins games because I would be just saying take the Fins everything, right? Just we're gonna win, we're gonna walk over everyone. But when it comes to betting and stuff, I can't be doing that. And when people are asking me for professional advice, I can't be betting with my heart. But that was a great game. I was on the edge of my seat the whole game because first half our offense was absolutely terrible, and I think the whole Tyreek incident was a distraction, and they finally figured it out in the second half. But then now injuries. It's only week 1, and we're already getting injuries. Mike McDaniel already said today, Raheem Mostert won't be playing tomorrow. Devon Achane is questionable. So you're already looking at Jeff Wilson, the vet, and rookie Jalen Wright, who was unbelievable all preseason. But it'd be nice to see him get a couple snaps under the big lights on a Thursday night game.
Dusty Picks is with us, and by the way, we'll get to some CFL stuff later. That's our poll question. What is Canada's game of the week in the CFL? We're going to talk some NHL too, because Dusty is an Oilers fan. And by the way, I have nothing against Oilers fans. I married one. I know you want to go back and revisit the Stanley Cup final, and we will. But for fun, we're talking NFL right now. Maybe we can dangle around to college. Dusty, you saw off the top of hour 2, I'm debuting a new set here in South Florida in our permanent location. Dale's watching in Winnipeg. He says, good Wednesday, everybody. You can be on the moon. We watch. Great show as always. I'm going to get you some Sea Bears gear soon. Be well, all. Thank you, Dale. Appreciate you for that. So you are saying, Dusty, exactly what the Dolphins pundits are saying here, that Tyreek Hill incident rattled that entire locker room prior to kickoff, and they did stabilize it by the second half. That's certainly what it looked like when they came back to win against the Jaguars. But what I also want to ask you is this. Tua's talking about it. He did yesterday. A lot of his Dolphins teammates, Tyreek Hill's teammates, talked about it. Do you think this affects them going into Thursday night's Week 2 kickoff, Dolphins home to the Buffalo Bills?
I absolutely hope not. I hope it's not a distraction anymore. But I kind of didn't like Tua really coming out and being all viral and getting involved. He doesn't need to get involved. He has enough on his plate. He's got enough pressure. He just got the big contract and all the money. He needs to focus on divisional game against the Bills, who always seem to figure out a way to beat us, which is awful because I divisional games. I hate the Bills. I hate the Patriots, obviously, but no, we need to be ready for Thursday because it's a huge game. Both teams 1-0 division. It's going to be a big one.
It's funny you say that, and you can follow him at Dusty Picks. Dolphins are favored by 2.5. 2, by the way. Both teams 1-0 going in. Do you go along with that spread?
Yeah, no, it's going to be. I think it'll be changed to about a pick 'em by the time the game picks off. It'll be an even game. For me in my betting, I'm looking at kind of the over. Both offenses are going to be just firing. Josh Allen will be just throwing the ball a bunch, but we'll see what happens. But I do really think it's going to be a pick 'em by kickoff tomorrow night. And I hope the Dolphins win. But my pick's going to be probably the over in the total.
902-518-3033, the number to text us here in the Boca studio. And, of course, if you're watching on YouTube, you can chat in the stream. Jen at the Four Seasons writes in. She says, well, I'll be taking the Bills this week, LOL. And I think that's because of the distractions of the Dolphins. Jeremy in Winnipeg writes in. He says, trading Tyreek Hill was the best decision the Chiefs ever made. They drafted well and can spend that $30 million to other important positions. It's easy to move on when you have Mahomes, Kelsey, Jones, etc. I'm not done looking back at week 1. What day is it today? Wednesday. We'll look ahead at this weekend as the week progresses. I want to get your take on the Jets and Aaron Rodgers coming out and saying, if you're jumping off the bandwagon, Jets fans and Gotham Green non-believers, stay off. Are you surprised so many people are jumping off the Jets bandwagon despite that week 1 Monday night double-digit loss at San Francisco?
I'm very surprised that they're all just jumping off the bandwagon right now because the 49ers are a well-oiled machine. They're just in the Super Bowl. Aaron Rodgers hasn't played in, almost 2 seasons. The guy has to get a little game time under him. I'm actually for Aaron Rodgers. I think they will actually make some noise here coming down to the end of the season. I can see them sneaking into a wild card. I wouldn't want to play A-Rod in a one game showdown. And his arm looked great on Monday night. His arm had a lot of power behind it, but the legs looked a little old. But that's what comes when you're that age now. And he was trying to be more protective of everything. And I think he just needed to get hit first.
Well, let's be honest. His age starts with a 4. And while the physical elements are slowing down, the brain is not. And that'll be Aaron Rodgers' best tool moving forward. Looking back at week 1, just for fun, how were your picks, Dusty, in week 1 of the NFL?
Actually, I did very well. I cleaned up last Thursday and Friday. Hit a plus 4,000 same game parlay in the Eagles and Packers game. One of my clients hit a 10K ticket, so that was all right. But we finished the week off plus 14 units, and we're moving on to week 2. Had a little bit of a rough ending, but hey, it's gambling, and if it was easy, we'd all be doing it.
Seems like everybody is. Dusty, thanks for coming on at Dusty Pick. You can follow him on Twitter. You are an Oilers fan. You say that you stay away from betting on the Dolphins. Do you stay away from betting on the Edmonton Oilers as well?
Yeah, I do. I kind of do. Like, but then in the finals, obviously, I was betting with my heart, especially when we were down 0-3, and then we started coming back because we knew South Florida was getting a little sweaty there near the end of that series after we dragged you guys back for Game 6. But you guys
Yeah.
got the final laugh.
Well, absolutely. You, all Oiler fans were singing from the same hymn book that it was going to be a Game 7 romp. And to be honest, I'm a guy that I don't usually spout off leading up to a game because I don't put the cart ahead of the horse. And because of that, I'm rarely disappointed. I'm sure you, like all Oiler fans, took a long time to get over the Game 7 loss in the Stanley Cup final. Am I right?
You are 100% right. I was over at one of my good friends' house. It was me, my brother, and him. We were all fired up for Game 7. We were like, there's no way Connor McDavid is going to lose Game 7 after winning 3 straight, bringing it back. That final horn went. There was a full plate of wings, and we all went to bed. There was nothing, and we didn't talk for about a week and a half.
Yeah, exactly. Hey, well, listen, I get it. I felt the same way when the Oilers beat the Stars in the 1997 playoffs after Game 7. Been there, and that wasn't even a Stanley Cup final. But this kind of rolls into another topic that you wanted to discuss was Leon Draisaitl's new contract. Was the biggest news contractually in the NHL in the last week. $14 million per season will be the largest cap hit in NHL history. Your thoughts on getting the deal done with him?
That was massive. Had to get the deal done, and with him signing 8 years, that I think solidifies that Connor McDavid will be signing a big 8-year extension too. He was McDavid's best man in the wedding, so kind of like they're good friends. And if he signed for 8 years, I have some confidence that McDavid will be staying too. I'm sure he discussed it with McDavid. If he didn't want to stay, I could have seen him taking an Austin Matthews type deal, like a 4 years, and not going 8. But it was massive to get done. We're so close to the Stanley Cup. Our whole team is back again this year. We have the oldest team in the league. I don't know if that's good or bad, but no, I'm just excited to watch and get it going again. But yeah, no, we had to keep Leon. You have to give him his money. $14 million is a lot, but you got to do it.
Yeah. Jan at the Four Seasons writes in, she says, I'm still just getting over 2006. So yeah, you Oiler fans all sound the same. You sound exactly like Serena. And trust me, I get it. The sports books, last I checked, all still have an Oilers-Panthers Stanley Cup final as the most likely pairing. You go along with that?
Yeah, I guess for now, you got to wait. Like, I'm not a big future guy better. I don't like betting futures and stuff like that. But I don't know. There's a few teams in the East. The Panthers lost a few players, so they've got some holes to fill.
8.
But
8.
they'll be all right. They'll be all right. Paul Maurice knows what he's doing. I love Paul Maurice as head coach. It was great to see him win. But I'm going to tell you the truth. I didn't watch them raising the cup till about 2 weeks ago.
Trust me. Again, I know I want to say I know the feeling, but I don't know the feeling. What I will say is I saw it firsthand with my partner, Serena, the biggest Oiler fans that I know. But like I say, you guys are pretty much all the same. Dusty, you say you don't like to get into futures. What is your betting specialty?
My betting specialty is basically I do a lot of player props. I like to look at shot totals, receiving yards, stuff like that. The spreads are huge too. People just love football, like college football and NFL are massive. That's all anyone really wants to hear about. And I'm kind of glad the MLB is coming to an end because that's not my specialty, but I still do it. Because in the dog days of summer, we have nothing to gamble on, so we have to get into the baseball. But no, I feel like player props and everything are one of my specialties, and I'm going to continue to do that this week.
All right. Good stuff, Dusty. Well, listen, I appreciate you coming on. Give him a follow at Dusty Picks. Anything else before we let you go?
Nope. Thanks for having me on, and can't wait to do it again, Rod. Thanks for the opportunity, man.
You bet. All right. Go make some money, Dusty. Give him a follow at Dusty Picks.